Hi guys, and welcome to Kieran's Taylor's YouTube channel, which is my own channel. For the first time I've started to do YouTube. I'm here today with an interview for the first time, and today's interview is none other than female judoist Kimberley Renick. Kimberley, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to come and join me on my YouTube channel.
That's all right. Happy to help.
So how's lockdown been treating you?
It's been actually all right for me because I've been out full-time working, so my job, I'm a support worker, so I'm out there helping as many people as I can if their families can't see them. So it's been okay for me. It's just my judo's kind of taken a back step, which I'm not happy with.
I don't think I'm happy with it either, to be honest. So obviously a lot of people have sent in some questions as well. So what's been your best tournament that you've competed at?
Best one's always going to be the Commonwealth Games because me and my sister won that, so it's always going to be up there as the best. But there's a few countries that I've been to that I've loved going to the tournaments, like Samoa and all the way over to like New Zealand and fighting in Japan, where the crowds are massive.
What was the best what's the best piece of memorabilia that you've got from a competition? So it's either from a fan or the competition itself.
Probably, well, at the Commonwealth we got loads of different gifts, didn't I? So I got jumpers for I and Brew and a stash of drink for them as well. So I got loads of free bottles of juice off of them and all the stuff. And I'm a Scottish girl, so I and Brew's like my favourite drink. So I was happy to get all the stuff for there. But most of it's just medals. When you walk away with a medal, it just gives you a big smile.
Here's one for you. Would you rather be world champion or European champion?
World.
And why?
World champion. Just because in Europe there's strong countries, but when it's world champion, then you know that you've competed against every country, or you've tried to compete against every country instead of just a small amount.
So, also, who inspired you to get into judo?
My dad. It was just, I came from Coatbridge. Back then it was a bit more rougher, so it was just a way for his girls to protect herself and just keep us from being like going on the street and maybe drinking, or just keeping us active. And but education always came first with my dad, so it was always about getting some sort of education behind you, then use that sport to get further.
Yeah. What got you in? Like, what obviously got you into judo? So, like, how old were you when you started?
I started when I was 4, and it was really just because my sister and brother were there, so I kind of just get stuck on the mat for free babysitting. My dad was on the mat coaching. I would go on, and then I got to beat up all the boys, so why not stay at it?
Did you ever beat up your brother and your sister?
No, I do try, but I'm still the runt of the family. I'm the smallest, and I still get battered off both of them to this day.
Obviously, it's not just judo you do. You also do rugby. How's that going?
I've not played that in a wee while, but I want to get back to that now that I'm back in Scotland training. So I like going down, and it's a great way just to socialise and make more friends. And just, if I'm having a bad day at judo, I then still get to run and hit someone, don't I? And tackle them around. So it seems to be sports that that you have to do contact that I seem to like.
So obviously, before going into the Commonwealth Games, you obviously need to qualify. So was the qualifying process like hard to obviously come through, or?
So it's a 2-year qualification you've got to do, and the rules are the top 7 get to go. So you can take 2 in a weight. So if you weren't in that top 7, then you weren't going to go. And there were 15 girls trying to go for the Commonwealth Games at the time, and I think there were about 10 boys going. So it was hard because I was only 48 or trying to compete, so that wasn't too bad. So I didn't have anyone pushing me or trying to steal my spot like my sister did. She had another 52er, and you had Stephanie and Connie both competing at the same weight, and then you had 63s, you had 2 in that weight as well. So some of the girls had a bit more competition to drive them, but for me, I was quite lucky. The first 3 events that I went to the qualifiers, I walked away with 3 goals. So actually my points shot right up, and I was at the top of the list all the way, I think, basically till the last week. The last week before we get a letter out, Sally Conway went to a bigger event, and she ended up winning like a higher medal, and she overtook me in the points. But I'd stayed the number one on the list, so I didn't really need to worry too much. As long as I didn't get injured, then my spot was safe.
Obviously, like you're like the Conor McGregor in some sense, because you were Scotland's first gold medalist, I believe, at 2014.
Yeah, I got the second medal at the games because the VI cyclist got silver first, but I was Scotland's first gold. I was the first gold for judo, and I was the first gold for Scotland in all the sports.
And the first women's gold as well.
It would have been first women's gold as well.
So there you go. So you've got 3 records to your name as well. What got you into coaching?
My dad, just the same. He was always like, you give back. We came for a club that you paid £1 to go to, and it was all about families helping out. It was all about the coaches did it not for money. They just did it to get kids off the street. So we came for a club where it's all about, if you're a family of 3, 2 kids paid, and they helped out with the third one to come free and helped out with kits. So my dad always said, you always give back to your community and you always give back. So, and I like coaching kids. I love to see that wee smile on their face when they get a new belt, or if you fight them and they get to throw you and they catch you, they think they're world champion. But it's that happiness that you see a kid maybe build confidence that's shy, and it's nice to see.
It's also good for mental health as well, to a degree.
It's a way to get kids away from their problems, and maybe a coach can see that and they can talk to them.
So obviously during lockdown, we've got some lockdown questions now. What have you been binge watching?
Oh, everything. Well, I've been working quite a lot, so I've not had as much time to sit down and watch the programmes that I want to do, but it's just loads of documentaries on prisons and loads of things like that. I've been watching a few different shows, like chat shows and that, on the telly, but most things are all about prisons because Lisa's now working in the prison, so she said is watching that non-stop.
How's the dog?
Good, lying on the couch sleeping. You won't be able to see him. He's camouflaged.
Ah,
He's only 9 weeks old today.
very nice. Obviously people have said they have. I don't know if you have. Have you been binging from Just Eat?
No, I've actually been trying to do a little bit more cooking and like trying some recipes out, but I doubt to say that I've probably not been cooking the right portion sizes, because I've definitely got bigger over lockdown, which would be, I'm going to be a bit scared when I get back to training and I have to get back down to my wee 48 kilograms.
I'm probably over mine as well, to be honest, so that makes sense. This is a good one. Have you done any Joe Wicks over lockdown?
No, I've been out for work for 7 a.m, so I don't have time to do his. But I have been doing some like fitness classes, and so different judo coaches send in different programs, and I've been trying them. And also my sister does Zoom classes with her little judo kids, so I've been getting sent some of their challenges. And my 5-year-old niece, well, she's 6 now, loves gymnastics, so she's been sending me challenges like doing handstands and trying to walk on my hands. So she's trying to keep us all entertained. So we've got family challenges that we do every couple of weeks. Decent.
Someone said, what is your main goal for coming back after lockdown?
Is to try and qualify for the next Commonwealth Games. So I've given up completely on the Olympics, just because I needed to do a lot of events at the start of the year last year, and because of lockdown I never got to do them, so I was far too far out to try and qualify. But at least I know I gave it my all. So Commonwealth Games is the next big one for me, which is in a year's time after this.
So what was it for the Olympics? I believe the first time was an injury, the second time was COVID, and now you just gave up.
No. The first time was I was reserve, so it came down to a vote over coaches, and I lost out on the first one, so I was a wee bit heartbroken at that. Second one was I needed a shoulder operation after the Commonwealth Games, and I decided to carry on fighting, and done more damage, so I went and put myself out for a year, and now this one is COVID. But I was a wee bit off, but still the point is trying. You never give up until the last event.
You never know. There's always the next one, isn't it?
Oh, not Olympics for me. I'm getting old, but Commonwealth Games are definitely another Commonwealth Games in me, and I'd love to be the first athlete in Scotland for judo to do a double gold, because there's been such a long distance between Commonwealth Games and judo that no one's been able to do it. So I would like to be the first to.
Where is the next Commonwealth Games?
England, but sunny England.
You never know. You never know.
No. Scotland, it could have been the win Scotland and win in England. It could be.
Just never say never.
I know.
What motivation have you got? This is a good one. What motivation have you got to give kids, especially girls? Because obviously a lot of girls look at martial arts and obviously think it's a boy sport. So what motivation have you got for girls being a girl?
I just say anything. Like the same as me, you've got girl footballers, you've got girl rugby players. I don't think any sport is specifically just a guy's sport. I think sport's just for anyone, as long as you try it, and if you're good at it, then you'll go far. And if you're not, then it's still there to make friends and keep yourself fit. Doesn't mean because you're not out there competing at high events, doesn't mean you're not good at a sport. It's all about going there and trying your best. And if your best is like you stay at lower levels, then that's still a good achievement. You've still achieved something. And I would just be like, keep trying any sport. Nothing's too hard to try.
I don't know if this one is from Swanee, but someone's put, has Swanee been your best mate through lockdown?
We've not got much time to spend together. Both of us are working, but yeah, we've been helping each other through lockdown, because both ups and downs, where football's getting cancelled and that's them. They've got another few weeks before the girls' football's back again, and the same with me. Like, I've went from being a full-time athlete to not being able to do my sport, and that's a very hard transition to do when your main thing is to be training 3 times a day to going into doing 13-hour shifts a day. It's a big change.
Favourite Animalia product and why?
The new hoodie right now is the comfiest thing ever. But I do like the leggings to run about in and training. But the new hoodie is so comfortable. So if you're looking for a nice comfy hoodie in this weather, I'd go for one of them.
I think the rash guard with the saltire, that's mine.
It is a good one, but that's always covered because I've always got a judo suit on or a t-shirt on. So with the hoodies, everyone gets to see.
Yeah, definitely. Any more sponsors that you've just been announced?
No, but this is what I'm going to start looking into now. I'm going to start advertising myself again to try and get a sponsor for the next Commonwealth Games. But I need to get back my fitness and get back to training. So just now it's just about focusing on myself to get back fit, and then looking for people to hopefully try and get a wee sponsorship out of that.
Somebody's put, if you could take on any other athlete in your own sport, who would it be and why?
Oh, I've actually never thought of that, actually. I've never actually thought of someone in my sport, but I'm guessing the new girl that's coming through that's world champion in 48s right now, Daria, like I've not fought her yet. And it'd be nice to see, because she's a very tall 48er. And most people I fight are small, so it'd be nice to see someone closer to my size. I think she's actually taller than me. She's 5'7", and I'm 5'2", so she's still going to make me look small. But she's world champion, European medalist. Like, she's got everything now. She's only 18 years old.
I think they meant like someone out with you though. So someone like
that's not in my sport.
Yeah. So like, obviously you got like Conor McGregor. He fought Mayweather in a boxing match or something like that.
Oh, don't know. What sports would I like? I think I'd like to try an MMA fighter, see if I'd be any good at that.
Which one?
I don't know. There's so many out there right now.
Rousey? Would you take Rousey in a judo match?
Definitely not. She'd batter me at judo, no wonder. She'd batter me at wrestling as well. But no, she's a judo player, but so.
True. What about the Scottish?
Maybe a rugby player. See if there is like the ones that hit hard enough to see if they are good at a fighting sport.
What about Calderwood from MMA? Would you take her?
I've seen her about. I would try, but I'd need someone to train me a wee bit in how to kick properly, because I've seen some of her fights and her legs are rapid. So she might just kick me straight in the head and I'll be down. So somebody needs to learn how to defend that.
Good question coming in now. Who would win in both these, in all these competitions? Who would win in pace, speed, and time? You or Swanee?
Oh, she's quite. I'm gonna say I'm faster over shorter distance, but long distance she would take me. Definitely in strength, me. Definitely. She's tall.
And physical.
She's Park, but
and the physical.
But I think I would take her.
What about the physical? Who's more
physical? Definitely me. I'm tough.
She gets tackled. She gets tackled the post of the ground.
For 4 years old, I've been getting thrown about. She only gets her toe stamped on. Football fairies. No, I'm only joking.
Twinkle toes.
No, she's fast, but I think I'd take her in the strength side, everything.
Who's your idol in sport?
Williamson sisters.
What?
The Williams sisters, Serena, tennis.
Yeah.
I've always looked up to them because they've been talented for a young age, but they've always worked hard, and they never give up, and they've got a good family support, I'd say, like the way that me and my sister are. So I've always looked up to them in tennis, and it's something I've always loved to watch when she's playing.
Just like you and your sister?
Yeah. It's something always to see. It's nice to see in a sport, families competing against each other.
If you could go and watch any sporting event, what would it be and why?
I would love to go and watch like a big MMA fight, like in America, like because of the way it is. I've never been to one. I've been to a boxing match, and I've been to judo, and I've been to football and rugby, big stadiums. So yeah. I'd actually love to go and watch an MMA like big match in America.
Decent.
The experience, because of the crowds that it brings in.
It's crazy. The money as well is just like mental.
Yeah.
Why Henrik Larsson?
I just liked him growing up. It wasn't even the fact that he was a Celtic player. It was just him as a person I liked. And I liked when the way he came back after his injury, when his leg got broke.
Yeah.
And he came back better and stronger. I liked watching that, and that was the kind of team that I loved to watch when I was growing up. So Henrik Larsson was one of my idols when I was younger. And I just liked.
And obviously you've got the top as well. Was that a gift from Henrik Larsson?
Yeah, my sister got that signed personally from him. She met up with him and got it signed for me.
That's nice gift. Have you not got a Gaza one as well from Swanee?
Yeah, I've got a signed picture of Gaza. We have one Celtic thing on the wall in this house, and I would say we have about 8 or 10 Rangers things about the house. I think I'm outnumbered.
So out of everything, your Henrik Larsson's the only Celtic guy on the wall.
Yes.
I think,
and that's not. That'll be a fight to bring that down, and it won't come down. I
think, to be honest, it's probably the more worth thing out of all of them. Swanee's match tops don't count.
Well, we've got other Ranger stuff up there as well, different collectibles. She's met quite a few legends, and she's actually quite friendly with quite a few Rangers legends that she talks to at podcasts and that with. So it's quite interesting to see the stuff that she's got.
Talking about podcasts, what podcasts are you listening to at the moment?
I think it's a James English I've been watching a wee bit of, and The Goals. Is it The Goals or something it's called?
Open Goal?
Open Goal, aye.
With Cy Ferry.
That's been on constantly in this house every time I come in.
Do you know why? Because you always get a Rangers person on the podcast. That's why.
That's probably
I'm surprised they've not asked Swanee to be on it yet, honestly.
Maybe one day.
You never know. And the last question is, if you could go back in time to one specific moment in the Commonwealth Games, except from winning, what would it be and why?
Oh.
It can't be you winning.
No, I went to a few I went to loads of different things at the Commonwealth Games. Like I went to rugby sevens. But I think just actually the closing ceremony I would go back to, because I got to meet Lulu, the singer. No, I literally like was standing on the fence. All the big tall netballers, because I'm a wee tiny thing, they all got me to the front, and I was right at the front. And as she's walking by, like I shouted on her, and I had my medal around my neck, and she came over and she put my medal on her, and I got a photo with her. And like just that, the atmosphere of that closing ceremony would be one of the best things to go back.
Is it not quite emotional?
It was, because that was the end. But all that hard work you'd put in for all the years was just made it worth that. And it was the one time we got to just relax and be a normal person, like get to have fun and not thinking about, right, I've got a competition this weekend, I've got that. It was just a night of, I've just won a big medal, and this is what it feels like to be a winner.
I think somebody was expecting you to say, like, I'd like to go and see my sister win her medal. I think that's what they were expecting.
Listen, I got to see it loads of times. I wish that she had through the girl and won that way. But it's always good when we're in schools doing talks and we get to show the two different ways that you can win in judo. Yeah. That it's not all about that big fancy throw. Sometimes it's just about putting in that hard work just to get to the end. But I thought she should have threw her earlier on. I got to watch it, but I got to still celebrate with her. I seen her right after it.
What's more watched in the Renicks household? Your win at the Commonwealth Games or hers?
Probably mine, because it's a big throw. Can't beat the big throw. The two videos are always showed together, so yeah. It's kind of probably even. Louise just wished that she'd done a big throw like me.
This person's been asking me this question all since the start of the video, so I'm going to talk this in there. I said the last one was the last, but this person's been texting me constant, like, I want to know the juicy gossip. So it was said in the Instagram, but Instagram somehow deleted the live stream. It wouldn't let me save it. But they're asking, what was I like as a young student?
Oh, you?
Yes.
A nightmare.
Juicy gossip.
It was a nightmare. He always wanted to take us on and try and beat us up. No, I'm only joking. You were good. You were always very helpful with the younger ones coming through as well, because you were a wee bit bigger. And when the younger ones were on the mat, you were always good, but you just always wanted to try and beat us up. So that was probably, you couldn't get rid of you. I'd be like, I'll fight you once, and then you'd always be back and you'd be running out to get me again. But no, you weren't too bad as a youngster.
I think it mainly worked because, like, both of us were the same height at that point.
I've not grew. You're probably bigger now.
Well, I'm 5'9".
Oh, definitely. I'm probably up your chest.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just like I think, to be honest, I think I'm more Ashley McKenzie height now. I think he's about the same height as me.
Oh my, he lies about his height. He's only 5'4". That boy wishes he's 5'9".
Last time I met him, we were both like the same height, and no joke, he's like that to me. We're probably about the same height. We're probably about 5'9", and I'm like, okay. So
no, Ashley's just bigger than me, but I don't know. He's that confident. He probably thinks he's 5'9", but he's definitely not. But the boy is talented.
Yeah. Like, it's just, obviously it's a shame for some of the results from the Olympics and stuff, but he'll get there. Well,
he's going to this next one, so this is his year. This is his year to do. He's more mature, and he definitely fights more mature now, so sometimes he doesn't just fly in for attacks because he feels like he has to. He's definitely got a good coaching background, and I think this could be his Olympics that he's going to do well.
Yeah, same. I hope so as well. So obviously that's a major shout out to you, Ashley, if you're watching this. Hopefully you do well at the Olympics. But Kim, thank you so much for your time. Obviously, if you want to, make sure you go and follow Kimberley Renick 48 on Instagram and keep up with her fight updates. She's an amazing person. She's inspired me to be the athlete I am. She's also a great coach and a great human being. So go and check her out. Anything you want to say for the video? You want to set a like target?
Do I want to say what?
A like target. So how many likes can you get on this video?
Higher like target, you saying?
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
if people say like, I want 1,000 likes on this video, how many likes do you think we should get?
Oh, I'd be happy with a few likes because I don't know if people remember me. I'm an old athlete now, but
You never
hopefully,
know.
well, hopefully I'll aim for more than what I've got on Twitter. If you can get 3,000 likes, because hopefully if you can get that many likes, I can get my Twitter back up. I'm trying to beat at 5,000 followers, and I'm trying to beat her. But every time I catch up with her, all of a sudden she gets even more. I think half her followers are hers, but it's on mine.
Kim, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.